Yeah, do that. Come down to my size. That's it.
Oh, I'll do that.
You can't stand there like that all the time.
I'll look up at you.
I'm with Jez Parish, and we're going to be talking about what he does as a little ventriloquist dummy, to be honest, but what he does as a living, because he's a graphic designer, and I sort of like know that people would like to know how you get into it and what do graphic designers actually do. Let's start off with that.
Graphic design essentially is really about the hierarchy of communication, the art of communicating a message, whatever that may be. A picture, it can be done through a picture or words or text. And it's our job as designers to get a message across in the most efficient way as possible, really. That is the essence of graphic design. There's many sort of facets to it. You know, there's branches off into illustration, photography, typography. But you had to know all those factors and all those essential trainings, really, to be able to do graphic design effectively.
So how did you actually get into it? I mean, did you go to college and decide that's what I want to do?
I did, yeah. It's kind of a strange story, really. I mean, I've always had a thing for being good at art, and I was good at art at school. And I had a motorbike accident. I came off my little Vespa, and had a few months.
Was a little muddy boy?
Yeah, yes,
did you have a little toy guitar and all that? Yeah,
I came off.
I could see there by the haircut.
Yeah, the old haircut. Dead giveaway. And I basically was off for quite a few months, and I thought about what else I could do for a job. And I thought, well, I was always good at art, and someone said, well, you should try graphic design. And I thought, what is that? I never heard of it. So I found out what it was, then went back to college, studied at college, and I was going to go to university. And then a teacher said at the time, there's no point really, you might as well just learn at a printer's. So the first job I had was working at a printer's, which was probably the best thing I ever did, because I really learned the nuts and bolts of it, all the ins and outs of what you need to learn. And then went freelance sort of like a few years after that, and haven't looked back really.
See, I've thought about it in the past, because I was really good at painting by numbers.
Okay.
Absolutely tremendous. Right? They said number one, I put number one in there, right? And I thought I could perhaps do this for a living, but I was about 10 at the time. Mm-hmm. I also wanted to be a train driver, policeman. Well, when I say policeman, I thought, well, actually, I don't think I'm ever going to be tall enough for that. And I think my criminal record already at 10 has debarred me from that, debarred me from becoming a solicitor or a barrister. The fraud cases have debarred me from becoming an accountant.
Doesn't help.
So there's all these different things that I was barred from. Anyway, joking aside, people now, there are adult colouring books. Right?
I've seen those.
Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
So that would be a great start for someone to get into it, wouldn't it?
You don't actually have to be an artist, really. I mean, it does help. I mean, it helps with illustrating, but it's really, if you're a good photographer, you can still be a designer. It's about learning how to use balance, really. It's a funny old business. So
it's a funny old game.
You can actually learn it, but it depends on your talent, depends on how far you go with it, really. But I think anyone can become a graphic designer if you've got some artistic ilk.
Ilk. What a great word that is. That is the word that I'm going to use tonight.
That's the biggest word I know.
Yes. I have in fact used that today on a website. I have actually used that word, ilk. And it's not a word that you would come out with if you were under 87, really. It suddenly came to my mind.
Words.
And then you've just used it.
Yeah, there you go. Full of surprises.
So you work for a company, but now you work for yourself.
I did, yeah. I kind of worked for printers for quite a few years, and then decided about 15 years ago to go off on my own. And I was with a friend at the time. We decided to run a little business. And then we did that, and then we split our ways eventually and ended up just working for myself, and I haven't really looked back. And it's, what I would say though, if you were looking at doing it as a career or going freelance, you've got to understand business is different to graphic design. Graphic design is one asset to it. Running a business is another asset, so you have to kind of learn those two different sort of those disciplines. And one is to be kind of is to have enough work coming in, which is the challenge really. Feeding that pipeline, make sure you've always got work coming in, and make sure you're on top of those invoices so you don't go out of business. So you've got to learn those as well, really. So I would advise anyone doing it to really just build up your client base, and you don't have to go full time. I mean, I didn't initially. I worked part time doing graphic design, and I was doing odd jobs. I did a bit of landscape gardening with my friend for a few years. until I built up the business. So yeah.
Yeah, because that would be my downfall. I'm about as organised as an orangutan in a banana shop.
Tricky. It's a tricky one.
Yeah,
I like that expression.
Yeah, that has just come to me. I just seen a reflection of myself there, and I thought orangutan in a banana shop. That is me down to a T. But yeah, of course, you do lots of different things there, and you got your family and that. So
yeah.
It must be difficult working from home with a family around. And
it is pretty tricky, but one thing about being freelance, one of the beauties of it is you can work odd hours, and I do. I mean, I get up in the morning. Once I take my son to preschool, I get back. I'm then straight on it. Usually by about 4 o'clock, I'm starting cooking dinner, and then I'm usually out of it until the evening, and then back onto work in the evening. Sometimes I've worked through the early hours, and I quite enjoy that because you get that, just no phone calls. You just get on with the job. So, and you can be quite creative that time of night as well. So.
Well, you shouldn't have told me that. Now I'm going to phone you up about 11 now. And I'm going to say, Jez, you're still working.
Did I tell you my phone's off at 9 o'clock?
Because I work from home, of course, and I find that I can never relax. I'm sort of sitting there and I think, oh yeah, and I get up and I go and do something. I've got a little office.
That is
there.
the downfall. You just get an idea and you have to go and
got to go off and do it as it is, and I never seem to switch off unless I've had a good drink.
But the thing about it though is probably you find it with yourself is
drink responsibly, by the way. I'm not advocating drinking.
It doesn't actually feel like work to me. I actually enjoy it so much when I do it.
Come into the camera and I won't see who you are. This is Jez, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't actually feel like work. So, when I do a job, I really get excited. Someone says, oh, we need a logo development done. I get really excited and I'm going to do that the next day. So, I don't know, is it the same for you as well, Keith? Is this what you do?
Yeah, it is. I get an idea and I suddenly think, oh, yeah, I wonder if it'll work. Because it's no good writing it down, because I don't know whether it's going to work or not. It might be something I'm doing when I'm developing an app.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if I'm developing an app for someone. And I suddenly think, I wonder if that'll work. And then I write it down. I'd still be awake all night, not knowing whether it's going to work or not. So I have to get on the computer and then sort of like work out if it's going to go. And then by that time, your mind's whirring.
Yeah, you can't sleep.
No, it is a problem that you get that thing in your head and you just go off onto the computer.
It is like ideas, isn't it? You could be working on a project, you suddenly have a blank and think, I can't think of anything for this for a moment. So you walk away from it and then it can hit you at any time. You suddenly get the idea, just come bang, and you have to go and execute
you've got to go and do it. Because someone says, "Oh, write it down," but it's not a case of writing it down because you don't know whether it's going to work.
No.
That's the thing. You've got to see it on the screen to see if it's going to work. So yeah, in a way, I suppose with the things that I do with designing apps is pretty much in the graphic design type of thing,
But it is, it's all about logic, really, isn't it?
So I can now tell people I'm a graphic designer. In a
roundabout
way
you can, yeah.
Oh, that is brilliant. Right, I've just got a new title. I've never had a title apart from Dickhead in my life.
Well,
and now I'm absolutely made up, that I've got that. And another thing I've just realised is, what a great name you've got, Jez, right? Because it's actually Jeremy, isn't it?
It is,
right?
yeah.
But with mine, you can only be Keith. You can't be anything else.
Oh, yeah, you
right?
can't really.
But you can be Jez, Jezza,
Jerry.
Jed, Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you can be different hats, different jobs.
That is such a great name, yeah. Because you sort of like thought, oh, Mum, why did you call me Jeremy, right? And then you get all these different derivations of it.
Well, I was quite lucky because my mum...
You chose the name?
No, well, my mum, they were going to call me Arthur.
Oh, were they?
And my mum's maiden name was Smallpiece. So it could have been a lot worse.
Oh, for Smallpiece.
So I'm glad that they didn't go that way.
That would have been appropriate for me, to be honest. But you think of that, Arthur, right? You could be Artie, Art.
Yeah. So you're quite hard done by, really.
Yeah, I am, aren't I?
Oh.
Right. And my brother's Ian. There's nothing you can do with that, is there?
So the challenge is now to come up with a nickname for Keith.
Well, not a nickname.
I've
got
not a
nickname.
nickname.
Thank you.
Yes, you have. But
yeah.
So Special K.
Special K, yeah. Yeah. Depends how you spell it.
Yes.
But there you go, you see. So if you want to be a graphic designer, do what Jez did. Go to school, learn it all, go to college, fall off your bike, right? Get a job as a graphic designer and then set up your own business. But don't forget to put in the invoices. Without the invoices, you'll never get paid.